So folks, a few tips with regards to syllogisms. You can see the bullet points on the slide. I'll talk you through them in a bit of detail perhaps. In the first bullet point, I talk about the negative sentences. Just keep an eye out for those, right? If it says something is not the case, well, interpret it literally, i.e. it's not the case. There's no reading around it. It's not. It's a definitive, right? So watch out for those type of sentences. Second point is look out for the simple copy and paste. Okay, the simple things, direct points, which really doesn't take much thinking. It's a case of just interpreting it, face value, go for it. Don't waste too much time. Easy marks. Third point. Now, this is something that is important. Now, it's about relationships, okay? Look at relationships rather than the scenario, i.e. subject, object. What's the relationship? Is it affirmative? Is it non-affirmative? You know, forget the scenario. You know, it does A lead to B, B lead to A, or what? Okay? Don't let the overall scenario skew how you think, all right? So what's happening between A and B? That's what you need to think about at the time. The third point, qualified words. All right, so questions are worded to allow relationships to happen, relationships between A's and B's, relationship between this or that. So look at what qualifies that relationship. You know, is it with, is it against, is it for, is it not? You know, look at what relationship you have between subject and object. Watching out for generic statements and not to make assumptions. I think that's quite easy. And I expect you'd kind of get the hang of that quite easily when you see some of these syllogism questions. Passing an exam isn't all about getting, grade A. It's about getting the gist of it, and you'll do fine. It's just stick to understanding generic statements and not making an assumption. Okay, because it's not based on what you know from before. It's what's in front of you within the scenario itself. Each statement is standalone, remember, so when you're answering questions, don't try and say, well, hang on, I put the first couple of statements were no and no, so this one must be a yes. It can't all be no's. Well, that's not true. In some questions, you'll find it's all no's, or it's a certain type of answer. One does not necessarily, doesn't relate to the next standalone answer. So do not fall into that trap. And last but not least, and I can't say it enough really, and that is you must practice. Okay, what I've just said to you, the tips I've given to you, you're not going to understand that just because you've listened to me now. Believe me, it doesn't make sense until you've actually had a go, until you've actually had a go again and had a go again and again. All right, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to, what shall I say, for want of a better phrase, the penny won't drop. So make sure you practice, practice, practice. Keep at it. Don't give up easily.